Welcome, everyone. My name is Anne, and I'm your virtual host for the three-part Breaking Mental Barriers lecture series. I'm thrilled you're continuing this journey with us. In previous sessions, we laid some crucial groundwork. You explored the fascinating world of your thought patterns, understanding how your brain can change and adapt through neuroplasticity. You also delved into the immense power of your subconscious mind, that hidden engine driving so much of your behavior. Now, let's circle back to a concept touched upon briefly in previous sessions. Limiting beliefs. Today, we're going to dive much deeper. Think of limiting beliefs as those deeply ingrained thoughts, those assumptions we hold about ourselves and the world, that unknowingly put a ceiling on our potential. They create invisible walls, leading us to perceive limitations where none truly exist. The exciting news is that these walls are not permanent, but the very first, absolutely vital step in dismantling them is to bring them into the light. We need to uncover these hidden assumptions that are currently running the show behind the scenes. So how do we do that? Limiting beliefs often operate in the shadows, unconsciously influencing our decisions and actions. We need a systematic approach to bring them to the surface. One powerful technique is thought journaling. By regularly writing down your thoughts and feelings, especially when you encounter challenges or setbacks, you start to identify recurring patterns. What negative self-talk keeps popping up? What assumptions are you making about yourself or the situation? Another incredibly insightful tool is the 5 whys technique. This is a simple yet profound method of asking why repeatedly to drill down to the root cause of a belief. Let's walk through an example together. Imagine someone facing the challenge. I'm not good at public speaking. Why? Because I get nervous. Why? Because I'm afraid of being judged. Why? Because I believe I'm not articulate enough. Why? Because I was criticized in the past. Why? Because I believe my voice doesn't matter. See how asking why repeatedly can peel back the layers and reveal a much deeper, perhaps even surprising, underlying belief? Finally, pay close attention to your emotional triggers. What situations or events tend to spark negative emotions like fear, anxiety, or frustration? These emotional responses often act like alarm bells, signaling the presence of an underlying limiting belief that's being activated. Now, I'd like you to take a moment for a brief activity. Think about a specific challenge you're currently facing. Using the 5 whys technique, jot down your answers. Don't censor yourself. Just follow the thread of your reasoning. What core belief might be lurking beneath the surface of this challenge? Understanding where these limiting beliefs come from is another crucial piece of the puzzle. Our performance limitations often have roots in our past. Past experiences, such as traumatic events, failures, or negative feedback, can deeply shape our beliefs about what's possible for us. Social conditioning, the messages we've absorbed from family, friends, and society, also plays a significant role. Think about the subtle or not so subtle messages you received growing up about your abilities or your worth. And let's not forget internalized criticism, that harsh inner voice of self-doubt and self-judgment that can become a powerful source of limitation. Consider these examples. A child consistently told they weren't athletic might internalize a limiting belief about their physical capabilities, even if they have untapped potential. Someone who experienced a failed business venture might develop a limiting belief about their entrepreneurial skills, preventing them from trying again. The good news is that once we identify these limiting beliefs, we can actively challenge them. We're not stuck with them. We can use powerful exercises to confront these mental barriers. We've already touched on some of these, and they're worth revisiting. Evidence examination involves actively seeking out evidence that contradicts your limiting belief. If you believe I'm not creative, start looking for instances, big or small, where you have been creative. Maybe you found a unique solution to a problem at work, or you enjoy expressing yourself through a hobby. Belief substitution is the practice of consciously replacing a limiting belief with a more empowering and positive one. Once you identify I'm not good enough, you can actively start practicing the thought, I am capable and worthy. And finally, cognitive restructuring helps us to identify and dispute the often distorted thinking patterns that fuel our limiting beliefs. Are you overgeneralizing one negative experience? Are you catastrophizing potential outcomes? By learning to recognize these distortions, you can challenge the validity of the limiting belief itself. For our next activity, I want you to take one of the limiting beliefs you identified earlier. Now, apply the evidence examination exercise. What evidence exists in your life that contradicts this belief? Write it down. The more concrete evidence you can find, the weaker the hold of that limiting belief will become. To wrap up this session, remember this. Limiting beliefs are those often hidden assumptions that significantly restrict our potential. They can stem from various sources in our lives, but the crucial takeaway is that they are not immutable truths. By employing systematic processes like thought journaling and the 5 whys, and by actively engaging in exercises like evidence examination, belief substitution, and cognitive restructuring, you can begin to confront and challenge these mental barriers. To deepen your understanding and continue this powerful work, I encourage you to reflect on the following journaling prompt. What limiting beliefs did you uncover in this session? What do you believe are their origins? And most importantly, what concrete steps can you take to challenge these beliefs and create new mental freedom for yourself? Thank you for your active participation. In our next session, we'll build upon this foundation and explore powerful techniques for regulating your emotions under pressure. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again.